In order to find a submarine simulation that can be played on console, you will have to go back decades. Of course, that's the case if you're excluding games like Battle Stations Pacific, where there are submarines involved. No, you have to go way back. Well, it does look like one developer is changing that today, and that is Deepwater Studio, the developer of Uboat. Hello everybody, Wolfpack here, and welcome to a rather unique video on the channel. This is more of a news video, and I had been planning to do a video like this for some time now. First, I need to address what Uboat is for folks who are not familiar with my channel. Uboat is a submarine simulation that was released on PC a couple of years ago. It got out of early access about a year ago, and the game has proven to be very popular. At the moment, you can control the Type 7 and the Type 2 U-boats, and this game has a lot of pretty cool elements like a fully controllable TDC, a cutaway interior of the boat, and very nice looking graphics. Now, I have been wanting to make this video regarding a potential console port for some time now. Uboat appeared on the PlayStation 5 store about a month ago without a release date. It said coming soon or whatnot. And I was already planning on making a video sharing my thoughts about a console port when this morning there came a trailer and a dev blog about the port. So let's dive into that. The console port is coming to both PlayStation 5 and also Xbox Series X and S. It is releasing on Xbox on August 27th, and then it will release on PlayStation on September 17th. Now, the reason these are releasing at different times is I do believe it is harder to port stuff over to PlayStation due to the architecture that particular system uses. Regardless, we have release dates, so there is that. We do not have prices just yet, but if we are following the Steam page, Uboat is currently selling for $29.99 USD. I suspect that will be the same over on the Xbox store or PlayStation store. Now, they did release a dev blog. They kept it really short, which is kind of unfortunate. I would have loved to have more information about this port. It is being ported by a third party. It is not being done by Deepwater Studio. The people who are porting it are Ultimate Games. I looked into this particular studio, and it does look like they have a fair amount of games under their belt. They've done quite a few ports. Honestly, I didn't even realize so many of these games published by Playway were ported over to console. And I personally wanted to share just how excited I am to get one of these games that I play on the channel ported to console. I know there are probably hundreds of comments on the YouTube channel or my TikTok asking, is this game available on console? And now I can say yes, well, this one is available on console. And I think it is great for simulation games in general to be ported over to console. Now, there has been a trend where a lot of these milsim-esque games have had console ports. I'm thinking of games like Armor Reforger, which I believe it wasn't even a port. I think that one released on PC and also console at the same time. But Hell Let Loose was a PC game that went over to console. And most recently, I'm thinking of Ready or Not. Now, a lot of these games, they are first-person shooters. So they are a little streamlined in that department, but they do have a lot of complexity with them in regards to controls. and they have figured out how to make all of that work on console with a gamepad. I think U-Boat will slot in there nicely. I can totally see U-Boat being played on a gamepad relatively easily. Now, I did mention I saw the store page for U-Boat on PlayStation, a couple of months ago or whatever, and I was speculating that maybe we would see some improvements over on the PC side in regards to controls. U-Boat in the first-person game mode is kind of clunky. I would play in that game mode a lot more if the controls were streamlined and it didn't feel, it feels very cumbersome, to put it mildly. And I was thinking if they're doing a console port, that maybe, some of those changes will trickle down over to PC. Now, because a third party's doing the port, I'm a little less optimistic about it. Also, the trailer didn't really show off many of the controls, which I was kind of hoping for. The trailer is not very good, in my opinion, on showing that, hey, this is a console game. You can see some of the right bumper, left bumper, tool tips there, and some of the clips in the trailer, but I scrubbed through it, and that's really all I can see, which is very unfortunate. So hopefully it works out. I'm looking forward to see how it plays. I am also curious to see if we will get gamepad support over on Steam. I think it would be surprising if we did not, because I'm one of those guys that likes to relax on the couch and play some games. And it'd be cool to play some U-Boat on the TV, I got to admit. But let me know what you all think about this potential console port. Personally, I'm excited about it. I'm excited because it gets a whole new audience into submarine simulations and maybe naval simulations as a whole. This genre is very niche, and going over to console is one way to just expand your player base, I think. I hope it works out. I hope it's not buggy on release, and we will see. Fingers crossed here. Hopefully there will be a little bit more information coming out about the port as we move forward, but let me know what you all think about that below. Now, while I have you here, the dev blog did spend a lot more time on the upcoming DLC for U-Boat, and that DLC is the Distant Coast DLC, which will add the Type 9 U-Boat. A lot of people's favorite U-Boats. They are larger than their Type 7 brothers, longer range, more torpedoes, etc. You know the drill. Now, the Type 9 U-Boats have a decent amount of variation, just like the Type 7s, and in the development blog, the devs addressed the brand new theater we are getting, and that is the Indian Ocean, as many of us suspected. Now, the boats that operated in the Indian Ocean and the Pacific were known as the Monsoon Group. They primarily operated out of Penang and Jakarta, and in the dev blog, we got the confirmation that we will be operating out of Penang. That is going to be our home port. And they did show off some screenshots of the foliage and stuff. I gotta say, it looks pretty cool. One thing that I really do love about U-Boat is the variation in the terrain. As I said previously, there is a lot of variation in the Type 9 U-Boats though, and as far as I can tell, the devs have not released a full breakdown of which Type 9 U-Boats are going to be in the game, because there's a big difference between a Type 9A and a Type 9D2. Now, the reason I bring up the Type 9D2 is it was quite prevalent in the Indian Ocean. These were massive U-Boats. They had a lot more fuel, extending their range to 23,000 nautical miles at a speed of 12 knots on the surface. Now, these boats were built for operating in distant waters. So I'm going off an assumption here, thinking that we are getting the Type 9D2 U-Boat in this DLC. I do suspect we will also get some other variants like the Type 9C40. This was also another boat that was rather prevalent in the Indian Ocean. It'll be cool to play in the Indian Ocean. It is a very, very vast place, of course. And the U-Boats that went down into the Indian Ocean initially saw success, mostly due to the surprise of U-Boats being down there, but the Allies quickly got it together and beat them back, just like they did everywhere else. Regardless, fascinating theater, very much looking forward to it. The ports look cool, the coastline looks cool, and the Type 9 is going to be a lot of fun. The devs also did show off some of the new missions. It does look like the Distant Waters campaign missions in the game will be expanded. We'll have some new missions operating around Cape Town and such. So that'll be cool and perfect for the Type 9. Anyway, folks, I hope you all enjoyed this short little video. Let me know what you all thought about it. I have been thinking about doing news videos on the channel, maybe like a simulation sit rep every couple of weeks or something, just quickly going over some of the news in our favorite games in this particular niche. But let me know what you think about that idea. I have been planning on sharing my thoughts about a potential console port for a while, and I'm glad I shared it. I'm glad this is happening because I know it'll interest a lot of you. But let me know what you all think about the console port. I hope you all like the video. If you're into this thing, please be sure to leave a like and comment. We are nearing 200,000 subscribers as well. I think we're like 70 away as of recording this. So if you haven't subscribed, please do so down below and help us reach that goal. That would be fantastic. Anyway, folks, this is Wolfpack345 signing off, and I will see you all on the next one.